Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
You know something serious is happening in baseball when the noise suddenly goes quiet, when the rumors stop shouting and start whispering, and when the Toronto Blue Jays begin moving like a chess grandmaster who's already seen the board 10 moves ahead. Right now, it feels as though the Jays are quietly plotting something enormous, something that hasn't fully revealed itself yet, but leaves just enough clues to make you lean closer to the screen. Welcome back to the Blue Jays Report, because today we're pulling back the curtain on what might be the most calculated and daring phase of Toronto's off-season so far. There's a sense in the air that this isn't business as usual. This isn't just a front office placing calls and floating offers. This feels more personal, more deliberate, almost cinematic. Multiple new reports have dropped, and taken together they paint a picture of an organization not only going all out, but doing so in a way we rarely see. At the center of it all is Kyle Tucker, and the revelation that one Blue Jays player in particular has stepped far beyond the usual boundaries of recruitment, transforming this pursuit into something closer to a full-blown courtship. Before we dive deeper, let me just say this. The support on this channel has been unreal. You've been absolute beasts, and as we push towards that huge milestone of 30,000 subscribers, I can't thank you enough. If you enjoy this breakdown, make sure you like the video, share it with fellow Jays fans, and subscribe to the Blue Jays Report so you don't miss a single twist in what's shaping up to be a fascinating saga. Now, when I say the Blue Jays are secretly planning something big, I don't say it lightly. This isn't wishful thinking. This comes directly from respected reporting, most notably from Mitch Bannon, who dropped information that adds a completely new layer to the Kyle Tucker pursuit. When asked directly about Tucker, Bannon didn't hedge or deflect. He made it clear that Toronto is being aggressive, and not just with money, but with something arguably more powerful, personal influence. The spark for this revelation came from a conversation on J.D. Bunke's show, where Bannon was pressed on why he believes the Jays have ramped things up. His answer was telling. He pointed straight to George Springer, and not in the way we're used to. Springer isn't known as a loud recruiter. He doesn't grandstand. He doesn't posture. He keeps things understated, professional, and largely behind closed doors. Which is exactly why what's happening now matters so much. According to Bannon, George Springer being publicly seen with Kyle Tucker, particularly at that recent golf event, is not normal behavior for him. This isn't a coincidence or a casual run-in. This is intent. This is Springer stepping out of character, and when a player like that changes his habits, you should pay attention. Bannon went as far as to say that people he's spoken to around the league have raised their eyebrows at just how involved Springer has become. And it doesn't stop with Springer. This is where it starts to feel almost conspiratorial in the best possible way. We've all seen the social media posts. We've noticed the likes, the comments, the subtle interactions. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is there. So is other key personnel. The Blue Jays aren't just recruiting Kyle Tucker, they're surrounding him. They're planting seeds from multiple angles, creating familiarity, comfort, and a sense of belonging before a contract is even signed. Think about how rare that is. Front offices usually handle these things with clinical detachment. Players might send a text, have a quiet word here or there, but this feels coordinated. This feels like an internal green light has been given to say, go on then, bring him in however you can. And for Mitch Bannon to openly say that Toronto is being pretty aggressive on the recruitment front is massive. No other team has been reported to be doing this at the same level. These little moments matter more than fans often realize. A shared round of golf. A relaxed conversation away from cameras. A laugh that isn't scripted. These are the moments where players imagine themselves in a different uniform, where the idea stops being theoretical and starts to feel real. So when people tell you not to put too much stock into seeing George Springer and Kyle Tucker together, I'd argue the opposite. Put stock into it. Heavy stock. At the same time, it's important to balance excitement with realism, and that's where another update comes into play. Robert Murray, one of the most reliable voices in baseball reporting, offered a cautious but intriguing take on the Tucker situation. According to him, a signing is not imminent. This isn't about to be wrapped up tomorrow. But, and this is the key part, He mentioned hearing about interesting little wrinkles over the past 24 hours that is still trying to confirm. That phrase alone is enough to set alarm bells ringing. Wrinkles suggest movement. They suggest new angles, shifting priorities, or unexpected players entering or leaving the frame. Murray didn't elaborate, but given his history of closely linking the Blue Jays to Tucker, it's hard not to feel cautiously optimistic. If there's movement, and Toronto has been near the front of this race for weeks, then logic suggests they're involved in whatever is developing behind the scenes. Still, there's a strange tension here. On one hand, the Jays appear to be doing everything right. They're aggressive, they're personal, they're persistent. On the other hand, the finish line remains just out of sight. Tucker hasn't signed. The Mets are reportedly very much in the mix. The Dodgers always loom like a shadow, even when people insist they're not favorites. This is the uncomfortable phase where effort doesn't yet guarantee reward. Interestingly, more voices are beginning to rule certain teams out. Reports from Rob Parker and John Morosi suggest that Kyle Tucker is unlikely to end up with the Dodgers. That's not confirmation, but it's a meaningful step in the process of elimination. If Los Angeles is drifting away, the focus sharpens. Suddenly, this looks more like a two-horse race between the Mets and the Blue Jays, and that's a fight Toronto can absolutely win. Of course, all of this becomes even more intense when you factor in the Bichette situation. A somewhat unsettling report surfaced suggesting that Bichette is almost certainly headed to the Phillies, where Don Mattingly, his former bench coach in Toronto, now resides. The reporter isn't top tier, so caution is warranted, but the idea has gained traction alarmingly quickly. Many around the league are starting to talk as though it's a foregone conclusion. If that ends up being true, it changes everything. Losing Bichette would hurt, but if he's going anywhere, Philadelphia is far preferable to Boston or New York. Still, it would leave a gaping hole, one that only a player like Kyle Tucker could realistically fill. In that scenario, Tucker isn't just an addition, he becomes a necessity. A statement. Proof that the Blue Jays aren't retreating, but recalibrating. The irony is that all of these threads seem to be tightening at the same time. Bichette nearing a decision. Tucker still weighing options. Teams posturing. Players recruiting. This is the point in the off-season where things stop dragging and start snapping into place. You can feel it building. One signing will trigger another, and suddenly the landscape will look completely different. And that's why this moment feels so significant. The Blue Jays aren't sitting back and hoping. They're acting. They're whispering. They're nudging fate. Whether it works or not remains to be seen, but for the first time in a while, it feels like Toronto is playing this game with creativity as well as cash. So let me know down in the comments what you think. Are the Jays about to pull off something massive, or is this all leading to another near miss? As always, make sure you like the video, share it around, and subscribe to the Blue Jays Report for constant updates as this story unfolds. Whatever happens next, one thing is certain. The plan is in motion, and the secret won't stay hidden for much longer.